physically. And
Yeah.
so that was sort of the subtext of that. But yeah, on another level, look, these YNs ain't throwing hands. That's part of the whole problem, right? And so maybe that's some old school, yo, go out there and throw some hands and then shake hands after it's over type of vibe.
You
What I'm
know?
saying? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're gonna choose a battle, tough guy, choose the right one.
Nigeria Chambers, the Culture Collective. Brother Omar, thank you so much for your time today. Congratulations on your newest film, Moses the Black, coming to theaters January 30th. How you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. I have a lot of fun questions for you today. And the first
Okay.
thing I thought about was as soon as I saw your character name was Malik, I was like, he's definitely, this is your third time playing the Malik, and you're three for three, might I say, with this
Okay.
one.
This the third
Legendary.
time?
This is Higher Learning and Don't Be a Menace.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, that's when you're a legend in game, man. You just your credits just go way beyond. And I was going to ask this at the end, but I'm going to ask this now because considering you have worn the hat as a producer, your EP, an actor, and an author, I instantly started to wonder, when are you going to get in that director's seat?
That's a great question. It's coming. It'll happen. It's not something that I'm forcing. I just know it will happen organically.
Yeah.
Just the opportunity. The stars are aligned for that because that's a big, it's a big task, and I'm a hands-on creative.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to do it, just for vanity. But it's coming. It's coming.
I feel that. I feel that. And before we talk about the film, I mentioned author. I've been such a fan of the Nubia series. Of course, I want to
Thank you.
know where we may be at for the third book.
Yes, we will see. We will see. Nubia was such a just a great experience for me, but it's weird. I think about it now. The first book came out, COVID just happened. It was just a
Yeah.
weird time to like be marketing that.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I don't know if I don't know if it got to the audience at large as it could have. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
certainly I want to finish out that trilogy because that was the original vision and mission. I already have the concept and it's up here, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Again, when that opportunity presents itself, I'll be coming with the third one for sure.
Yeah, I'm on board, man. And you're right during the pandemic, but it was such a gleaming light at Comic-Con to see you was there with a book and we're talking Afrofuturism. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm stopping through.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
picking that up right away.
Thank you.
That is a genre that is ready to print money, and I'm glad you, my brother, are one of the leading charges in that. But we'll talk about that down the line because I'm fingers crossed for that third announcement.
Right.
But yeah, this film is super special. First of all, before you even dive into it, you look at the synopsis, you look at the cast, you just know you're in for a treat. And I mean, you're a legend in this game. You've been doing this for a long time. I instantly want to know, and I feel like it's a cheap question, but it's something I truly want to know for somebody of your caliber. Like when you approach a project like this, when you see the cast that's involved, when you see the story that's being told, when you're, yeah, we've seen the gangster movies, but like when you're like the crossing it in with like Egyptian and Christianity like mythology or the study of the Bible within it, but you're also telling like these very important messages. You're talking about breaking cycles. You're talking about this mindset of incarceration that people have once they're free, and what does freedom look like. I mean,
Right.
there's layers and there's bars to this film, but for
Yeah.
you being a part of it, like just talk to me why this was unique for you.
I mean, you just said it. What you said. um, for me, it's the story. When I first read the script, Yelena Popovich, who wrote the script and directed it, when I first read the story, I was unfamiliar with Moses the Saint, Moses the Ethiopian, and so I did research on that. And I'm like, that's one of those. I'm kind of mad. Like, why wasn't I aware of this, right?
Yeah.
But then how she told that fourth century a story about a 4th century saint in the modern day, and it's in conjunction with this character Malik that I play, who's a leader of men, Chicago, and all that. And I thought she executed those parallels so beautifully.
Yeah.
And all of those, the messaging in the film. I just, after I read the script the first time, one, I just felt like I understand why this opportunity is before me right now, and two, it was like, this is necessary. Like that was the overwhelming feeling I had with this has to be told,
Yeah.
And so as it all came together, 50 and Wiz and Quavo and Skilla Baby, Deontay Wilder, everyone was drawn to the same feeling of necessity that I had, in their own ways, I'm sure. But we were all drawn to this. And so, I just think it's a beautiful film. It's a unique perspective of a story that feels familiar.
Yeah. Oh, she talking about what I said. No, what you said, my brother. That's exactly spot on in the feeling I had. And that kind of goes into another question. But before I get there, I gotta tell you one of my favorite scenes, man. And it was the moment where Malik was like, since y'all like to jump somebody, here I am. And why it was so epic, because I'm not saying like I'm out here trying to run phase or whatnot, but I be seeing the YN activity around the way and whatnot. And I be thinking to myself like, man, y'all lucky one of these OGs don't come out here and smack y'all in the head and show y'all how they used to do it around the way. I just feel like the essence of that scene was so organic, but yet so telling. And one other thing, in case people, know your range of acting, your the physicality that you put into your projects, your choreography that you put into your project, you throw one hell of a punch, and that says a lot with Deontay Wilder in the same field.
Yeah,
right there. But from one of my favorite scenes, you need, talk me through filming that part.
Yeah, that's funny that you took that from it. That was emotionally, that was a very uncomfortable scene for the character, because he was disgusted, right? Because that was him. I think, like, in life, one of the one of the hardest places to be is when you're becoming enlightened, because you can no longer go backwards. You're not enlightened. It's like you're in the process of, and so that was the character having to go backwards. And so I think that emotionally and mentally he was disgusted, with himself, of having to do that. So that anger was really, it was self-directed, even though it was outward, physically.
Yeah.
And so that was sort of the subtext of that. But yeah, on another level, look, these YNs ain't throwing hands. That's part of the whole problem, right? And so maybe that's some old school, go out there and throw some hands and then shake hands after it's over type of vibe.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you too, because you brought up his mental state, and I think that's a very important part to understand this film in its entirety, is the journey of Malik's mental state from being incarcerated to coming back, being back in sort of in the same shoes that he kind of left, kind of going through a measure of grieving. Maybe there's survivor's remorse as well too. I mean, this is just a lot that you see with this black brother existing around other black brothers too. And the enlightenment part makes me instantly want to go back and watch it now, because now I need to kind of add that element in it. But I'm here to talk to you about it, so I wanted to kind of give a cheat sheet to folks. Give us, if you could, sort of so we can immerse ourselves in terms of the mental state that Malik's journey is with this film.
Yeah. Okay, that's a great question. But as you said, I mean, listen, it's a story that feels familiar. It's a dude who's getting out. He's coming back to the people, places, and things that he was around before, but he starts to have visions, and he basically comes to an impasse in his journey, and where he realizes if he keeps doing the same things, he's going to get the same results. And so he turns inward. He is not cool with himself. It has to do with what's happening externally. And when he turns inward, it, as most of the time do, if you grew up mama cooking steak and you come in like, oh, I'm vegan today, the house is going to have a problem. You know what I'm saying? So if you put it on that level, but yet and still you have to fight through that, and you have to give the people the external forces the grace. And I think I'm a sidetrack for a second. Moses, the real saint. Okay, you can't call yourself a saint. That's something that the people around have to deem you, right? So I'm saying that to say that Malik is not, he's not doing something. He's doing it for his own reasons. He's trying to lead by example. So he's becoming the change that he's seeking within self, and that's ultimately the journey that he's on. You see a man come out and actually transform into the thing that he believes he can be in an effort to lead others the right way.
Yeah, that's definitely the film. That is the film. Yeah. So much rewatchability. But yeah, a few more questions I want to get through really quickly. Another thing I wanted to kind of point out too is, I feel like Malik is having these moments where he feels God is talking to him. And you're a man of God, and I know you, through your journey, through your life, through your career, you've seen God's blessings around you, and you've known God has been working through you, and you've been a vessel of what He stands for. But I'm wondering for you, throughout your career, had there ever really been an out of body moment that you kind of reflect back to, where you, even at a point you may have even questioned why you at that moment?
That's a great question. Great question. I think, less about in my career and more about in my life. I think God is winks at me all the time. We call him God winks. I think sometimes more obvious than others. And the interesting thing is, like, when you're not on the chosen path, it's glaring, but this is why we say hindsight is 2020, because you look back and you're like, oh yeah, I saw that the whole time. But your perspective is sort of determined by your intention of the moment. So again, it's an ebb and flow. One of the big takeaways that I want audiences to have from this film is about the message of redemption. But my thing is, like, redemption is not an end all be all, right? It's not something like you don't get redemption at 21 and have it when you're 45. That's it. It's a constant ebb and flow, because as life change, the life ebbs and flows, and you grow and you evolve. You become a parent. You have a different set of things that you're dealing with. So it's a constant. We're constantly on that journey of and hopefully it just gets easier, right? Because we sort of get settled into you're on the path that's the enlightened path, right? And you know what you're not going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We should have a box. We should have more of what we know we're not going to do than of what we're going to do.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying? So it in that regard, that's kind of one of the big takeaways I want our audience to have. But it's I love that you say it's very rewatchable, because it is, because it has a different rhythm. It has a different tone. And I think that based on what you're willing to, I want people to have conversations externally, but also when those conversations ends, I want people to have a conversation with self.
Absolutely.
You follow what I'm saying?
It's the artistry of the work. That's why I'm all here for it all day. Listen, they're getting ready to give me time, and I really want to slide these other quick questions in really quick. Okay. Recently, Red Clay, a short film that you put out there. Has there been talks about extending this into a feature, or what are we looking like in terms of a series or something? Where are we looking to put the story out into the world further?
I don't want to give too much away, but we're working on it.
My man.
That's the politically correct answer.
I love that. I said, so as of last year a little bit, you did put on your journalistic hat and attended the Cowboys training camp, asking the tough questions, and they had me wondering what would be your answers to some of these type of questions for the culture. So 4 quick questions for you. Prince or Michael Jackson, my brother?
Both.
I see you're about to take the easy way out here.
Can't have one without the other.
Spike Lee or John Singleton?
Mm, that's tough. For me, I'm gonna go with Spike because I'm gonna just go with Spike. Brooklyn.
The Wire or The Sopranos?
Ooh, that's tough. I'll go with The Sopranos.
And last but not least, Above the Rim or Love and Basketball?
I gotta go with Love and Basketball, man.
Yeah.
You know, if I don't believe in me, who will? Who will?
My brother Omar, I literally could talk to you for hours, man, but I got to get people to the theaters to check this one out. Moses the Black in theaters January 30th. It's been a complete honor to talk to you today. Congratulations on this project and looking forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate your time once more. Thank you.
Anytime. Appreciate you.